Hello, everyone. It's been a while. Well, this is Book 4, Second Edition, Part 4A, Echo Guilt. Well, before you get mad at me, I'm sorry, I was really busy, but this project will go on. I will upload the next book as well. I know I have started the third edition, but I will definitely finish the second edition series. Well, without further ado, let's get to it. It's pedal to the metal. Everybody, look at the title of this lesson. How eco-guilty are you? What do you think it means? You can Google it, or you can use tools like ChatGPT to help you. Very good. So basically, eco-guilt is what people feel when they do something that they know they shouldn't do because it's bad for the environment or bad for the ecosystem. Very good. Now, I need you to take your time, read the questionnaire very good, and check your score. And after that, I need you to compare your scores with your friends. So let's do it for me. Let's see how eco-friendly I am. Should you feel eco-guilty too? Take the test. Okay, we're doing it for me. Shopping bags. I have a reusable shopping bag made of recyclable materials that I always use when I'm shopping. No, I'm not doing that. I own several reusable shopping bags, but I often forget to bring them with me. Not that as well. I always ask for plastic bags because they're convenient. They can be recycled. Can't they? Well, yeah, that's me. I always ask for them. Washing towels. I wash my towels immediately after I use them. I don't know. I use a towel for several days before I put them in the washing machine. Yeah, that's me. That reminds me, I need to wash my towels. I see. Okay. Running water. I never leave the water running when I brush my teeth, nor before getting into the shower. I'm not like that. I'm allergic to cold water, so I have to let the shower run for a while before I get in. Yeah, that's me. I hate showers. I need a hot bath every day to relax. Oh, that takes a lot of water. Buying fruit and vegetables. I never buy fruit and vegetables at supermarkets. I buy organic fruit and vegetables in markets or at farm stands. Sometimes, I don't do it all the time, but in Turkey there are some local markets. We call them pazar. And I sometimes go there and the prices are very good. And I buy some fruit and vegetables in a market, but the supermarket is more convenient. Most of the times, I shop at the cheapest places. Who cares about eco-guilt? I feel guiltier if I spend too much money on food. Recycling. I throw everything in the same can. Literally, that's me. I sometimes recycle glass bottles, especially after a party, but that's probably all. All right? I recycle all my newspapers, bottles, and plastic containers. I never do that. But I have some friends in Germany, and they are very, very serious about it. I don't know. Getting around. I walk, use public transportation, or ride a bike because cars pollute the planet. Well, yeah, this is me, but it's not like because I care about ecosystem. It's because I don't have the money to buy a car or a motorcycle. All right. I walk, use public transportation, or ride a bike because I can't afford to buy a car. Oh yeah, this one is definitely me. And vroom, vroom, here I come. So how guilty should you feel? Below 0, you should feel very guilty. 0 to 12 points, you should feel a little guilty. Above 10, you are too good to be true. All right. So, like me, read the questionnaire, answer the questions for you, and compare them with your friends. A very good start. Well done. That was a very interesting start. Now, how will we be living in 20 years? Or will we? Okay, so first read some predictions that have been made about the next 20 years. Which ones do you think are already happening, are likely to happen, and probably won't happen? Well, it's your turn. Take your time and read them. Write your ideas. I'll wait.
A few minutes later.
Now let's read it with me. At home, most people will have installed solar panels or wind turbines on their houses or apartment buildings to generate their electricity. People will be recycling almost 100% of their waste, and those who don't will have to pay a fine. They have to pay money to the government. Okay, transportation. Cars that use a lot of gas, for example, SUVs, a sports utility vehicle, that's the name, will have been banned. No. And many people will be driving electric cars. Hell no. Low-cost airlines will have disappeared and flights will be much more expensive. Uh-oh. The environment. Paper books will no longer be produced to save trees from being cut down, and all books will be electronic actually. Electric is something else. What am I doing? Fresh water will be running out in many parts of the world, and we will be getting much of our water from the oceans through desalination plants. Well, I don't know about that. I just know that 97% of all the water in the world is currently in the oceans, around 2% in the glaciers or big ice mountains, and only 1% is usable for humans. Based on my knowledge, you have to check Google or ChatGPT. The weather, temperatures worldwide will have risen even further. Many ski resorts will have closed because of a lack of winter snow, and some beaches and vacation resorts will have disappeared completely. We will be having even more extreme weather, and heat waves, hurricanes, floods, etc. will be frequent occurrences. All right, so write your ideas. What do you think? You can read the predictions again, and you can tell me which two would you most and least like to come true. All right, very good. Have a discussion with your friends.
A few moments later.
Well done. Now everybody, look at the highlighted verbs. All right, highlighted in yellow verbs. Okay, which ones refers to an action or situation that will be finished in the future? And which ones refer to an action or situation that will be in progress in the future? Take a look. Take your time. So, will have installed, will have been banned, will have disappeared, will have risen, will have closed, will have disappeared. Okay? And the ones that refer to an action or situation that will be in progress, look, will be recycling, will be driving, will be running out, will be getting, will be having. Very good. So today we're going to talk about these future tenses. Future. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you future perfect and future continuous. All right, let's see. So future perfect, listen.
2.29.
The decorators will have finished painting by Tuesday, so we can move back into the apartment then.
The soccer team says that they'll have built the new stadium in 6 months.
Laura won't have arrived before dinner, so I'll leave some food on the stove for her.
When will they have learned enough English to be able to communicate fluently?
Okay, very nice. So as I mentioned, we use the future perfect, like the previous part, will have plus the past participle, okay, to say something will be finished before a certain time in the future. Okay, for example, the decorators will have finished painting by Tuesday. The project will have finished by next month. Okay, so we use will have and the past participle. Okay, and there are some variations. For example, Laura won't have arrived before dinner. Or when will they have learned enough English to be able to communicate fluently? All right. This tense is frequently used with the time expressions by Saturday, by March 2030, etc. Or in 2 weeks, in 2 months, or by plus a time expression at the latest within. For example, you can say in 6 months. We form negative with won't have. So will have is the positive, won't have is the negative plus the past participle. Now, future continuous. Look, will be plus verb plus ing. Listen to this one. I'll explain again. No rush.
2.30.
Don't call between 7 and 8 because we'll be having dinner then.
Good luck on your test tomorrow. I'll be thinking of you.
This time tomorrow, I'll be sitting on the beach watching the sunset.
Come at 7 because we won't be starting dinner until 8.
Will you be waiting for me when I get off the train?
I'll be going to the supermarket later. Do you want anything?
Okay, very nice. So we use future continuous, pay attention, to say that an action will be progressed at a certain time in the future. For example, look, we'll have dinner at 8. We will start dinner at 8. We'll be having dinner at 8. At 8, we will already have started having dinner. So that action will be in progress in the future. I know it may sound a little bit weird because it's not very common in English, but you should know. Very good. We sometimes use the future continuous, like the present continuous, to talk about things that are already planned or decided. Okay, for example, I'll be going to the supermarket later. Do you want anything? All right. And we form the negative with won't be, plus verb plus ing. Okay, let me see if we have okay, we have one here. Come at 7 because we won't be starting dinner until 8. Okay, so that's the negative form. You can take a screenshot from these pages to help you because me and you, we're gonna practice. Yeah, time to show me really what you got. My smart friends, I have 2 sets of exercises for you. First one, complete the sentences using the future perfect or future continuous. For example, the movie starts at 7. I will arrive at 7:15. When I arrive at the movie theater, the movie will have started. Okay? Exercise B, complete the dialogue with the verbs in parentheses in the future perfect or continuous, just like the previous one. For example, look, well, it looks like we're having a very different weather in the future if climate change continues. What do you mean? Well, they say we'll be having much higher temperatures here in New York. Okay? The rest is yours. You can stop the video, take your time, do it yourself. Okay? I will give you time to check with your friends. And if you have done it, well, check with your friends, learn from each other, teamwork, get better together. Very good. Now it's my turn to answer them for you. All right, let's start. Number 1, the flight to Miami takes off at 9 and lands at 10:30. At 10, they will be flying to Miami. All right, so action in progress in the future. Okay, will be plus verb plus ing. I usually save $200 a month. By the end of the year, I will have saved $2,400. So will have plus the past participle. Okay? Very good. We'll have saved. This is future perfect. Rebecca leaves at 6:30. It takes her an hour to get to work. At 7 tomorrow, she, excuse me, will be driving to work. The meeting starts at 2 and finishes at 3:30. Don't call me at 2:30 because we will be having a meeting. Sam is paying for his car. The last payment is in May. By June, he will have paid for his car. Okay? Their last test is on May 31st. By the end of May, they will have finished their tests. So far, so good. Number 7. She writes a chapter of her novel a week. This week, she's on chapter 5. Okay, so she writes a chapter of her novel a week. This week, she's on chapter 5. By the end of this week, she will have written 5 chapters. Number 8, Sonia is usually at the gym between 6:30 and 7:30. There is no point calling Sonia now. It's 7 and she will be working out at the gym. All the way to number 9. The movie started downloading at 7:30. It will take another hour. The movie will have downloaded at 8:30. Okay, as for the next part, all right, we came all the way to this one. All right, so, well, they say we'll be having much higher temperatures here in New York, as high as 96 degrees. And remember, we won't be lying on the beach. We will be working in 96 degrees, which is very different. And islands like Puerto Rico will have disappeared by 2150. Okay? Because of the rise in sea levels. They say the number of storms and hurricanes will have doubled by the middle of the century too. So even more people will have moved by then to the cities looking for work. Big cities will have grown even bigger by then. Can you imagine the traffic? I don't think there will be a problem with the traffic. Gas will have run out completely by then anyway. So nobody will have a car. Someone will have invented a new method of transportation, so we will be flying around in air cars or something. Very good. And that's all there is to it for future perfect and future continuous. Talk to a partner and say if you think the following predictions will happen. Explain why or why not. In 20 years, most people in office jobs will be working from home. All private swimming pools and golf courses will have been banned. Most people will be using public transportation or bikes to get to work. People will be taking more vacations in their own country and fewer abroad. People will be retiring at 70 or even later. The teaching of handwriting will have disappeared from the school curriculum because students will only be writing on tablets or laptops. Okay, and in answer you can use these words: definitely, probably, likely, unlikely. Okay, and these are the sample sentences. Only one thing left to do: speak with your friends. All the way to my favorite part: reading and vocabulary, the weather. Look at the cartoon. What does it say about American weather? Will it be true about your country? Let's take a look. Summer, fall, early winter, winter, late winter, winter, spring, flood season. All right, it's your turn. Speak it out. All right, very good. Now I need you to read this article once. Where do the Santa Ana winds blow? What effect do the Santa Ana winds have on people? All right, very good. Your turn. Read it and write your answers. I'll be waiting.
6.5 hours later.
Good. Now let's read it with me. Can the weather drive you crazy? There was a desert wind blowing. It was one of those hot, dry Santa Anas that come down through the mountain passes and curl your hair and make your nerves jump and your skin itch. On nights like that, every party ends in a fight. Raymond Chandler's 1938 short story, Red Wind, captures the infamous devil winds of Los Angeles that at times seem to drive people a little nuts. Interesting. First time I hear something like this. But if you think that's just a lot of hot air, think again. Human responses to the Santa Anas have been shown to be generally unfavorable. For example, people tend to become irritable, says Dennis Driscoll. I'm very bad at names. A professor at Texas A&M University. We don't know why. It may have something to do with the electrical charges and an increase in positive ions. At least that's the theory. What else can the weather do to your mood? Here's a forecast. Cold snap. Lawrence Palinkas, professor at the University of Southern California, had studied the impact of extremely cold temperatures on Antarctic researchers. We have noticed an increase in anger and irritability after prolonged exposure. He says although he believes isolation and confinement play a part, in addition, thyroid hormones are particularly susceptible to changes in temperature. Okay? People sometimes exhibit symptoms of depression, short-term memory loss, and anxiety. And last year, some Canadian newspapers started using the term snow rage. At the end of March 2008, we had over 16 feet of snow, says Catherine Wheel with the Quebec City Police. During that month, we had several incidents, 911 calls, a guy punching a neighbor over a few shovelfuls of snow, a man who threatened his neighbor because someone had blown snow onto his lawn. Oh, hot-headed. Heat waves really can make tempers boil. In fact, from 1950 to 1995, rates of serious assaults were higher during hotter years, according to the research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology in 1997. The authors suggest that uncomfortably high temperatures increase annoyance-provoked crimes, in which the primary goal is to hurt someone. Crimes like burglary, which the incentive is money, did not increase. They predicted at least 115,000 additional serious and fatal assaults a year in the United States due to global warming. Interesting. Spring fever. We studied about 600 people and found that in springtime, sunny days and warm weather seem to boost mood and have a broadening effect on cognition. Basically opening the mind to new ideas, says Matthew Keller, assistant professor at the University of Colorado at Boulder. You just have to get outside. All right, that seems interesting. Very good. So, did you answer the questions? Where do the Santa Ana winds blow, the location, and what effect do the Santa Ana winds have on people? Well, they blow in Los Angeles, California, and they can make people feel nervous or angry. But we're not done yet. You need to read it again. Follow me. My friends, read the article again, like me, mark the sentences true or false, and underline the sentence or part of the article that gives you the answer. Well, time for me to wait again. Do it.
Tomorrow.
All right. Now, let's do it together. Number one, Professor Palinkas is sure that the amount of time spent in cold temperatures has the biggest effect on a person's mood. False, line 15. We have noticed an increase in anger and irritability after prolonged exposure. Okay, very good. Number two, people's hormones are easily affected by the weather. True, line 17. In addition, thyroid hormones are particularly susceptible to changes in temperature. Number 3, in 2008, a number of Canadians who committed crimes blamed them on the huge amount of snow that fell. It's true. March 2008. Yeah, you remember that. Number 4, the number of serious crimes decreases during a period of extreme heat. That's false. From 1950 to 1995, rates of serious assaults were higher during hotter years, according to research. All right. Number 5, some experts predict that global warming will increase the number of serious crimes committed in the US. That's true. They predicted at least 115,000 additional serious and fatal assaults a year in the United States. And spring weather can negatively affect a person's creativity. It's false. Springtime, sunny days, and warm weather seem to boost mood and have a broadening effect on cognition, basically opening the mind to new ideas. Very well. Now, does weather affect people's mood in your country? How? Well, I don't know, but there is this stereotype in Adana. Adana is a very hot region in Turkey, and people from there seem to get violent, as they say. I don't know, maybe it's just a joke. You can search it on Google. What's the weather like? Weather. Everybody, I have 2 exercises for you. In the first exercise, put the words or phrases in the right place in the chart. For example, it's cool. What does it mean? A little cold. And in exercise B, complete the sentences with fog, mist, and smog. You can stop the video, take your time, and do it yourself. Very good. And if you have done it, well, it's my turn. Let's check them with me. The weathers.
2.31. What's the weather like? A. 1,
It's cool.
2,
It's chilly.
3,
It's freezing.
4,
It's below 0.
5,
It's mild.
6,
It's warm.
7,
It's boiling.
8,
It's humid.
9,
It's damp.
10,
It's drizzling.
11,
There are showers.
12,
It's pouring.
13,
There's a breeze.
B.
When the weather's foggy or misty, or there is smog, it's difficult to see.
Mist isn't usually very thick and often occurs in the mountains or near the ocean.
Fog is thicker and can be found in towns and in the country.
Smog is caused by pollution and usually occurs in big cities.
Very well. Now you know the weather and the difference between mist, fog, and smog. Well done, but we're not done yet. Follow me. Now we're going to talk about extreme weather. Everybody, again, the same thing. Match the words and definitions. For example, look, heat wave, a period of unusually hot weather. Okay, you know the drill. Take your time and do it with your friends. Together, you can use Google, you can use dictionaries to help you. All right, let's listen and check. Easy.
2.32. Extreme weather. 1,
Heat wave.
2,
Drought.
3,
Hail.
4,
Lightning.
5,
Thunder.
6,
blizzard,
7,
Flood.
8,
hurricane,
9,
Monsoon.
Monsoon, the last one, is very common in the southern Asia, like Indonesia, like in Thailand. Very well. I have another one for you. This is the last set of the vocabulary exercises. Adjectives to describe the weather. Very good. So complete the weather forecast with these adjectives. Again, the same system. Do it, check with your friends, and let's listen together. One more time.
2.33 Adjectives to describe weather.
In the western part of New York, it will be very cold, with strong winds and heavy rain. There will also be thick fog in the hills and valleys, though it should clear by midday. Driving will be dangerous because the roads will be icy. However, the Hudson Valley and the tri-state area will have clear skies, and it will be bright and sunny, though the temperature will still be low. Over the next few days, the weather will be changeable, with some showers but occasional sunny periods. It should become more settled over the weekend.
Very good. And that's all there is to it for the vocabulary exercises. Congratulations, you made it so far. Part 4, pronunciation. Vowel sounds. All right, very good. I need you to look at the groups of words below and circle the word that you think is different. All right, let's do it together. Listen and check.
2.34 1,
Blow, snow, showers, below,
All right, next
2,
one.
weather, sweat, heavy, heat,
3,
drizzle, blizzard, chilly, mild,
4,
hard, warm, dark, garden,
5,
flood, moon, soon, loose,
6,
fought, ought, drought, brought,
7,
thunder, sunny, summer, humid,
8,
scorching, whirled, tornado, storm.
Okay, one more exercise. Listen and write 5 sentences. Again, your turn. Listen and write.
2.35 1,
it'll be below zero tomorrow with some snow showers,
2,
He was sweating heavily because of the heat.
3,
It's windy, chilly, and starting to drizzle.
4,
The river is going to flood soon.
5,
summer days are usually sunny and humid.
All right, you can listen multiple times and check your answers. So these are the sentences. Very good, very nice. After all that exercise, it's time to speak. What about? Let me tell you. Speak with your friend, you and your partner. What kind of weather do you associate with the different seasons where you live? For example, I live in Istanbul and summers are very hot. Yeah? What's the weather like today? Have you heard the forecast for tomorrow or next weekend? What's your favorite weather? Does the weather affect your mood? What do you like doing when the weather is bad? What kind of weather do you think is the best and the worst for camping? Going for a hike in the mountains, driving, running a marathon, shopping, sightseeing. And do you think global warming is affecting the climate? In what ways has the climate change affected the weather in your country? Well, you know the questions, answer them, speak with your friends, compare your answers, share your ideas. All yours. Time to listen. Everybody, listen and speaking. This is the last set in the house. You're going to listen to 3 people talking about their experiences of extreme weather in the US, in the United States, America. Listen once which speaker was both relieved and scared by the weather, which speaker got stressed because of the weather, and which speaker really enjoyed themselves in spite of the weather. Very good. Listen and number. Number the speakers.
2.36. 1,
It was just at the end of the summer in 2013, yeah, and I was a college student at the University of Colorado in Boulder. It had been really dry that summer, hardly any rain at all, and it was incredibly hot. Then toward the end of September, the rain came, and it rained almost an entire week. At first, everyone was so relieved because the rain brought cooler temperatures and made the grass green, but then it just kept raining and raining. Streams and creeks started flooding and roared out of the mountains, and it was really scary. The stream that goes through my college campus flooded several dorm buildings, and kids had to find safe places to stay. Some rooms had 3 to 4 feet of water in them. I was okay because I lived on a high floor in my dorm. Even though there was a lot of damage to the campus and to a lot of the towns surrounding Boulder, there was a bright side. Kids on the athletic team served lunch to flood victims in the community. Other students donated their clothes, shoes, and books to kids who had lost their belongings in flooded dorm rooms. So, even though the flooding was extremely severe, it really made me realize that we have a supportive college community here.
2,
This was in the summer of 2003, and there was a pretty intense heat wave in New York City. I remember it really well because I just started working as an office assistant in a civil engineering firm, and I'd only been at my new job for a few weeks. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on August 14th, the electricity went out all across New York City. The massive blackout, caused in part by everyone using their air conditioners, affected 7 states in the eastern U.S. along with parts of Canada. My boss told me to go home, so I did. First, I had to walk down 17 flights of stairs because the elevators didn't work. Then, I had to walk nearly 4 miles from Manhattan to Brooklyn in the heat because the subways didn't work. Thank goodness I could walk over the Brooklyn Bridge to get back to Brooklyn. When I finally got home around 8 in the evening, I was absolutely surprised and happy to see all my apartment building neighbors outside cooking on grills and getting to know one another. It was too hot to stay inside, so I enjoyed the evening sitting outside on the sidewalk with my neighbors. It's been over 10 years since that blackout, and I have very fond memories of that day. But I don't really want to go through that experience again anytime soon.
3,
On October 29, 2011, I was visiting friends in upstate New York when it started snowing. It's pretty unusual for snow to fall in New York during late October, but I was safe with my friends, so I didn't mind. The next day, it was time for me to drive home. It had only snowed about 3 inches in Albany, and the roads there were completely clear, so I thought my 2-hour trip home would be uneventful. However, as I started driving south, I noticed the snow was getting deeper. Trees were bent over and many had fallen. Driving was rather stressful because the roads were slippery and dangerous. When I finally got home, almost 5 hours later, there was nearly 2 feet of snow on the ground, and I couldn't drive up my driveway, which only added to my stress. I parked on the street and trudged up to my house, only to discover there was no electricity. I ended up booking a room in a local hotel for a week until work crews reconnected the electrical wires. That storm caused billions of dollars of damage across the Northeast. Over 3 million people were without electricity, some for up to 3 weeks, and cities across the Northeast reported record snowfall totals. In addition, many communities had to cancel or postpone Halloween celebrations. It wasn't safe for the children to walk in the snow. Luckily for me, no trees had fallen on my house during the storm, but I was mad that it took me several days to shovel my driveway.
Okay, very nice, very good. You can check your answers with your friends. Very good. So these are the answers. Not bad. Now I need you to listen again carefully and take notes for speaker 1, 2, and 3. When did it happen? Where were they at the time? What kind of weather was it? What happened as a result? So listen again and fill in the chart and answer the questions. You can listen multiple times. Let's go.
2.36. 1.
It was just at the end of the summer in 2013, yeah, and I was a college student at the University of Colorado in Boulder. It had been really dry that summer, hardly any rain at all, and it was incredibly hot. Then toward the end of September, the rain came, and it rained almost an entire week. At first, everyone was so relieved because the rain brought cooler temperatures and made the grass green, but then it just kept raining and raining. Streams and creeks started flooding and roared out of the mountains, and it was really scary. The stream that goes through my college campus flooded several dorm buildings, and kids had to find safe places to stay. Some rooms had 3 to 4 feet of water in them. I was okay because I lived on a high floor in my dorm. Even though there was a lot of damage to the campus and to a lot of the towns surrounding Boulder, there was a bright side. Kids on the athletic team served lunch to flood victims in the community. Other students donated their clothes, shoes, and books to kids who had lost their belongings in flooded dorm rooms. So, even though the flooding was extremely severe, it really made me realize that we have a supportive college community here.
2.
This was in the summer of 2003, and there was a pretty intense heat wave in New York City. I remember it really well because I just started working as an office assistant in a civil engineering firm, and I'd only been at my new job for a few weeks. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on August 14th, the electricity went out all across New York City. The massive blackout, caused in part by everyone using their air conditioners, affected 7 states in the eastern U.S. along with parts of Canada. My boss told me to go home, so I did. First, I had to walk down 17 flights of stairs because the elevators didn't work. Then, I had to walk nearly 4 miles from Manhattan to Brooklyn in the heat because the subways didn't work. Thank goodness I could walk over the Brooklyn Bridge to get back to Brooklyn. When I finally got home around 8 in the evening, I was absolutely surprised and happy to see all my apartment building neighbors outside cooking on grills and getting to know one another. It was too hot to stay inside, so I enjoyed the evening sitting outside on the sidewalk with my neighbors. It's been over 10 years since that blackout, and I have very fond memories of that day. But I don't really want to go through that experience again anytime soon.
All
3.
right. 3.
On October 29th, 2011, I was visiting friends in upstate New York when it started snowing. It's pretty unusual for snow to fall in New York during late October, but I was safe with my friends, so I didn't mind. The next day, it was time for me to drive home. It had only snowed about 3 inches in Albany, and the roads there were completely clear, so I thought my 2-hour trip home would be uneventful. However, as I started driving south, I noticed the snow was getting deeper. Trees were bent over and many had fallen. Driving was rather stressful because the roads were slippery and dangerous. When I finally got home, almost 5 hours later, there was nearly 2 feet of snow on the ground, and I couldn't drive up my driveway, which only added to my stress. I parked on the street and trudged up to my house, only to discover there was no electricity. I ended up booking a room in a local hotel for a week until work crews reconnected the electrical wires. That storm caused billions of dollars of damage across the Northeast. Over 3 million people were without electricity, some for up to 3 weeks, and cities across the Northeast reported record snowfall totals. In addition, many communities had to cancel or postpone Halloween celebrations. It wasn't safe for the children to walk in the snow. Luckily for me, no trees had fallen on my house during the storm, but I was mad that it took me several days to shovel my driveway.
All right, very good. So these are the answers. The first one, summer of 2013, University of Colorado in Boulder, and rainstorm and flood, that was the weather, and damage to the campus, towns surrounding Boulder. Okay, for speaker 2, summer of 2003, New York City, heat wave, massive blackout affecting 7 states, eastern US, and parts of Canada. And last one, October 29th, 2011, Albany, New York, and a snowstorm, and billions of dollars of damage across the Northeast, over 3 million people without electricity. And that's all there is to it. And in order to finish this, just a small talk. I need you to talk in small groups about the time when you were somewhere when it poured rain for days and days. There was a flood. It was incredibly cold. One of these situations. Where were you and what were you doing? That's the first one. What did you do to protect yourself from the weather? And did you ever feel scared or in danger? Just a discussion to finish the lesson. And another lesson done. Everybody, I will continue the 2nd edition project. Okay, I haven't stopped. I just started the 3rd edition, but the 2nd edition will go on. Sometimes these slides take a little bit more time to produce, but I will continue the series all the way to the last book, and the 3rd series will continue as well. As always, you can download the slides from the description part, and if you have a question, you can comment down below and I will get back to you. And last but not least, make sure to like and subscribe. I will teach you as long as I breathe. Now, all I want from you is to be your best version. Practice on a daily basis, make it your habit, and you will become great. I promise you. Until then, my friends, bye-bye.